to whether or not Singularity can bounce back and swipe a map pick of their own to actually level this series, or Endpoint, they can finish it right here.
Yeah, that's you know, that's the scary part. That's the one thing that I was a little bit concerned about when it comes to Singularity. They picked a pretty tough map to play for their first, and indeed didn't go the way they planned. And as you said, Endpoint now, this is a perfect opportunity for them to close out this series with great success and face off Ago in the next. And I gotta be honest, man, Dust 2, I don't think Singularity should have too many problems, though. It is going to be hard aim map, you know, it is going to be down the line. There won't be too many flanks that could be possible. And Endpoint, it is going to be all coming as well to their proper setups and proper responses, really. This is going to be more aim than anything else. But let's see how it begins. The pistol is live, ladies and gents. It is the second map of Dust 2, and it's time to see who takes the cake in this case.
It's already going to be starting off nicely for the side of Endpoint, though. Going to be Mertz. That is going to fall first, unfortunately, with Crucial picking up the early kill. Again, it's Endpoint that get that CT-sided start, especially on a map like Dust 2, as we know, with some of the pertinences on this map. And the B-bomb site, as we've discussed plenty of times over, is one of the impact points that Singularity should be looking for later in this half, although it's going to be an A-long rush this time, a full rotation drawn in by Endpoint, though. Thomas able to find one. Queenix trades, but again, it's Max to clap back. Oh, Robin getting the job done as well, just down to cell rate. And it seems like so far Endpoint off to a brilliant start, although wouldn't count them out just yet. Mighty Max no Kevlar with that defuse kit. It definitely could be isolated into a 1v1 and still has full health.
Well, we've seen him play a few crazy moments on Vertigo. Certainly it's not impossible in this case as well, yet he is up against two, and that always presents a unique problem, especially with both being in the same position. There is a lot of room they can make for each other. Cellrate, though, I do feel like he needs to get a frag if he wants to successfully get the plant down without being encroached and completely encompassed on site itself. And there comes the push. Endpoint, they're going to be making their way onto the site. And the one question is, will they read this well enough? Cellrate? Yeah. Fortunately, as soon as he spots the first player, basically should be looking to either... Well, he did look for the kill, obviously, missed a few bullets, but in that sense, as soon as he misses, he should be taking a different angle of approach, a different angle of a fight. You can't linger in that position too long, or it goes down just the way we see it now. You are met with two at the same time, with a USP or even a Glock. It's not impossible to take down both unless you're going to be deadly accurate. And well, the first point goes to Endpoint. As they find themselves with the pistol, it is going to be a force buy Singularity.
Yeah, I was expecting that with the plant they got, especially taking it down to a few kills in their favor as well. We've got some AKs bought up here, all three players having Kevlar with those as well. They actually have a pretty solid buy round here in terms of the weapons they've got on the board, and Max is going to drop that smoke, make sure that he can somewhat get out of this alive. Jabby, great first headshot though. Robin able to return fire, the same for Max as well. Somehow still alive off of the back of the smoke. A great little piece of info spotted as well, the tag but no kill. Down to a 3-on-3. Jabby is incredibly low, so maybe there is a quick trade to be had in that respect. But all in all, ooh, Tobis, he could be a deciding factor here right now. He's going to sneak his way out the back of the tunnels, make sure that he's super safe. Of course, they're not going to check it. And I think Endpoint might just drop this round off of that single maneuver right here, as Tobis going to be coming in for the flank, although they get the kill at least to trade it back. And Thomas, can he strike? No, he can't. Through the corner of the wall there from Tobis, and Queenix to wrap it up. Singularity, the force buy pays off for them.
Well, that is a little bit of a wild round, a little bit of a wild shot. As Tobis, the Mishmaster Supreme with that deagle, just veers around the corner and sets himself a new record for the fastest gunman on the west, or the fastest slinger on the west. But it is going to be second round to Singularity. They push it back with that force buy. The AK seemingly having a lot more success than one would imagine, at least in that sense. Yet, you know, as I said, right, it is Dust 2. It is an aim map. AK certainly will take precedence over everything else. And mind over matter, as they say, sometimes just doesn't matter. And it is going to be Deagles and Stout for Endpoint. Not really much they can rely on. Yet again, though, Deagles, we've seen it in the past. I wouldn't count them out just yet.
especially with this sort of ferocious play they can come through with the Deegs. Mighty Max with that scout in hand. There is going to be a bomb plant fairly simply from Singularity as they get themselves the early little plant there, and especially with the weapons that they've got, Endpoint most likely just going to save up their Kevlar as well. If they can get a couple of kills out of this, they'll be in a decent position economically, but ooh, as I say that, actually, Robin does find one onto Mertz, so $300 into his back pocket for the next round to come. But all in all, a 4-on-5 as that round will draw to a close, keeping the majority of their players alive here for the side of Singularity. That bomb plant will generate further cash here, keep those AK stacked up as well, but a nice start for the T side. As we know, though, Singularity and Endpoint, both pretty strong performers on their T side, so we can't take too much into account just yet, especially when we were kind of astounded by how good Singularity were, and then Endpoint just sort of blew that out the water on the T side of Vertigo. So
yeah,
we'll not take that into account just yet, though. Mertz, what a flick as he lands onto Mighty Max, though. Not going to land the kill. Was unfortunate to not connect through the headshot rather than the body, but either way, it does put him down to 29 points of health. A fairly simple eco round, though, that should see Singularity up to that third. It is the first gun round of Endpoint that will make that difference, though. And with the money they've got, not going to be able to pull out an AWP, so it is going to be rifles. And pretty much the AUGs at max if they want to play with a scope. But I don't think with the money they've got, they're going to be able to bring out the big sniper just yet. So Mertz is he's got the upper hand already in that advantage. So we'll see how Endpoint can handle that in the next gun round.
Yeah, that's true. He does have his trusty big green gun, as some like to say. Yet, I wouldn't discount Mighty Max and his Deagle, actually, and his Scout that soon. Short push, never mind. This time will be read well enough, or at least defended well enough by Queenix. And Singularity, as you said, right? They did show a few cracks in the armor. Their CT side certainly having a few issues. Lucky enough that they are not translating that into our second map. Still, a very hefty price to pay here for Singularity. They lose 2 players and Queenix is on the verge of falling. So, yeah, it's not exactly an optimal round for them.
Hopefully, as they do get that bomb down, it should be A-okay at this point. But actually, Thomas is going to get the AWP to save. I thought he might have actually... If there was no AWP and he just had the AK, there is a chance that he might even go for the retake as well to try and win the round. But now that he has got that AWP, knowing that they don't have one of those into the next round, it just gives them that little bit of an extra opportunity to be able to then handle themselves in that next for Crucial. More importantly, we know that Dust 2 is a very AWP required map. It's not one of those where your AWP player can sit comfortably on a rifle, especially CT side. So they'll put the value into the sniper rather than the round itself. It is going to be 3-1, but it is Endpoint's gun round. Now that actually does look a little more scarier, bolstered by an AWP. With that full buy to come, that is going to be taken, of course, by Crucial. But this is where Endpoint need to wake up. Again, with both of these teams seemingly favoring the T side, we can maybe look to say that Endpoint will need to scrape through again with that 6-7 mark. But as we know, CT side of Dust 2, if they can bag 9-10 rounds, they'll be in a nice little spot here. Not going to press through the Molotov, though, for Singularity. So it is going to be a short split instead. They would have liked to have split long at the exact same time, but they're going to go fast up short nevertheless. No flashes, though. That's a bit of an amateur move. That AWP can now rain through from Crucial. That was a bit of a mistake from Singularity. Now they're going to slow down, but they're already feeling the effects of this.
And they lose Mertz on long. That's the flank that they desperately needed. And I was already thinking, where is Mertz? Why is he not pushing through short? Yet in the end, he was solo through long, and that will cause him to be absolutely smashed out to pieces. Yabi, ooh, this is a close call encounter. A very important one. Topis, though, holding short control. Thomas wins that duel. Yabi on site. The trade is equal, yet still, it is a man advantage for Endpoint. And Yabi from Goose holds the line, yet not long enough. And with the bomb down, sure, the defuse is easy to come by. The money will be recuperated for Singularity in certain senses, and they will be able to rebuy, but this is a heavy, heavy price to pay, and that is what happens when you let go of an AWP like that for free. And now the double up comes out. Endpoint You know, we praised them on the start of Vertigo, then we saw the downfall that they had in a quick succession for Singularity. But it seems like on Dust, it's going to be a little bit different and a little bit faster for Endpoint to come on top. As Singularity is in a weird space right now. They don't really have the, I guess you could say, the commodity to lose anymore.
Yeah, they've not got that bank behind them anymore, unfortunately. And like you say, now with double AWP out, this was... thought actually Robin going to be keeping hold of it, something that he used to do back in his very, very early days with some minor AWP as a secondary. Back in, actually, interestingly, the old days of Singularity, which was a jersey that Robin once boasted. Back in the old days, even when Cobble was still in the active map duty, active map pool, actually. So that's showing how long that he's been out of that squad and this, with some old names like Benji. But still, it is going to be surreal on that secondary AWP to back up Crucial. A beautiful bit of nade damage as well, something that we saw incredibly yesterday with the Smash Boys was how good their nades were, but Endpoint seeming to be matching them. Crucial. Okay, he just breezes through two. Robin there for the backup. The molly even finishing him off as well. Adding insult to injury in this round and a 1-on-3 that should see Queenix already out of this round.
I would say alongside the insult, add a little bit of salt and sprinkle a little bit of pepper on top of it because that was pure perfection. Sure, Robin dies, but the second kill is what cements the round for Endpoint. They salvage the secondary AWP as well. This is dire tidings for Singularity. And sure enough, it's, again, as I said always, or say always, Dust to a heavy, hard aim map. You can rely on your deagles. You can rely on your hard fraggers. You can definitely put them up front and, you know, hope to succeed. Yet I think another good point to be made here is, well, besides the timeout for Singularity, a few moments of clarity for them to discuss their next plan of, or next option, is, for a good example, would be, you know, look at Simple. How many frags did he put out? 54? 56? Yeah. And they still lost the map? Yes. So, you know, the point being is, as good as your fraggers are, they're only as good as your weakest link or as your overall team build, as your overall team composition, because if you fail to work as a unit, no amount of aim will help you to get out of the mess like this. And Singularity, well, full eco for them. They don't really have a choice.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's just going to be a fast Glock rush into mid, see if they can get anything out of it. The double AWP is going to be pincering them down. Well, at least one of them in the form of Crucial. Surreal struggling a little bit, might actually take some deaths here, but fortunately, Crucial and Robin there backing the boys up, making sure that Surreal was saved his embarrassment there. A couple of missed shots inside of mid, but it won't matter. It was a quick round and over and done with. 4-3 for Endpoint, as they'll be establishing a nice little lead so far. Singularity back onto the rebuy, but unfortunately no AWP for Mertz. So with two being on the board for Endpoint, you really wanted one in the hands of Singularity, but just not affordable, unfortunately. They've been limited in that aspect for this round.
Yeah, and that's the worst part of it all. It's Dust 2 alongside everything. It's a map where double up is more than welcome. It's actually quite nice to have it as the CT. You can set it up basically on long and on B, or you can put it up on mid on B or A, whatever. You can mix it up and really, you know, work the kinks, work the angles. And right now, this is where the B split comes through, but Crucial through doors is going to be a great distraction for Robin. There are the two frags they needed, although what is Mighty Max watching? He's watching mid doors instead of the tunnels. That's a huge mistake, but doesn't matter when Crucial is on point. He will be the crucial component in the victory for Endpoint. Back to a 4-on-2 with this current setup. It is looking too good almost for Endpoint to be true.
Yeah, this is looking real nice right now. Again, we know that B bomb site, sure, it is difficult to retake, but in a 4-on-2 with the just overwhelming manpower that they've got here in this round compared to Singularity, they're too scared to even put the bomb down at this point. A tap of the fake to try and draw him out, but... oh, Crucial, yeah, he is aware of the plant location at least. Now with that bomb down, a 40-second tick timer, they do have players coming in from tunnel. The distraction already made, though. Thomas and Crucial able to get that job done. I thought they threw a smoke over the top there. Very common, actually, from when you're inside of mid, if you've got a tunnels flank, to actually smoke off tunnels as if you are just defending it rather than allowing an offense. But wasn't done this time. Something for you guys to look out for, though, in the future. It's quite a nice little strat. But again, even with that bomb plant, they are still a little bit done for in terms of money. So yeah, it is down to another half buy for them, unfortunately. And that's going to see Endpoint most likely doubling the scoreline of SNG here and getting up to 6 on the board. A great start for the CT side so far. And considering that Singularity did have the early leg up, Endpoint have done well yet again to sort of slow their pace down a lot.
Okay. I mean, sure, the pace will be slowed down a little bit, yet seems like Singularity are not really to be phased by the defense set up by Endpoint. Thomas in lower, and it's going to be Mighty Max trying to support the B defense somehow from upper. This is such a weird set of coincidences. The bomb, though, yet to be made towards that B site. This could be a huge problem, actually. Something Singularity didn't really count on. I mean, Yabi's now caught in middle. If he gets spotted, and he's about to be spotted, there's the bomb. See, this is... Oh, this is so poorly planned out by Singularity that, sure, they pick up the op from Mertz. It's a 3-on-3, but a minute on the clock. Fully equipped, at least. That's the one thing that, well, fully equipped is a relative term, but better than nothing.
45 on the clock as well. Robin, though, we don't see it, but he picks off Queenix. Getting him a nice little refrag. Thomas to do the same as well. Yeah, this round is done, unfortunately. Even with that scout in hand, Cellrate not going to hit the mark this time. Endpoint able to close it out, 6-3. Singularity are going to be able to get the AWP on the board, but again, it's Mertz that is having a bit of a quiet game. And again, whilst he is a player that can pick up a rifle if necessary and at least do decent output with it, it seems like he is just a little bit struggle busing right now, needing that AWP just to revitalize him. But again, it is Endpoint that are doing a great job of minimizing the output of Singularity. That nade could do damage. No, Crucial going to hold off just for a little while. He's realized that there is no aggression through A-Long just yet. So going to sit back. No reason to expend any unnecessary grenades. What is that, though? Too early for the flashbang. It's a simple shutdown for Endpoint. They're just giving them free kills at this point. They will land a trade, but again, there's already support out of A-Long as well to be able to find the refrags. It's down to a 3-on-2. Trying to bait the shot on the corner there. The flashbang might just do its job, though. Queenix, finally a competent flashbang to allow the Singularity guys just a little bit of wiggle room to play with. They will get Surreal back on the bomb site, but a 2-on-2. Singularity do not need to commit to this yet.
No, they do not. And the best part here is that they actually might have saved themselves the round. This gives them ample opportunity, ample time to work out where the next set of targets will be. Now, Singularity in this case, they are making a bit of a default defense call. They're going to be pulling back towards T-base. The reason for this is they want to check the corners, and Mertz spots the player jumping towards B side. I'm not sure if Surreal gave out the info, but certainly he should be aware of this. Oh, Mighty Max, the timing here! As he catches Mertz with the knife in his hands, and Surreal, I believe he was spotted top mid. Well, Surreal certainly was spotted middle, yeah, and Queenix is looking for that frag. That much is clear. Yeah. Oh, no way. Oh, no way.
Oh, the timing.
Oh, Queenix. Oh, you...
Oh, he stepped though.
Oh, no. You see... So, to break that down, when Mertz spotted the player jumping towards the left side, basically jumping towards B, the call should have been made by Singularity. Okay, let's go mid. And they did that, and they did make that call. And I would actually think they would probably go short in their plan towards in that round. Then obviously the peek through short happens, the unfortunate turn of events, still a 1-on-1 though. And with 20 seconds, Queenix, instead of running towards the site, he actually decides to chase the frag towards middle. Unfortunately though, the decision there had to be made, and I think the better decision in his case would have been just commit to a site, right? Of course, now after the battle is done, it's easier to talk, but again, just the basics there would have been properly made if they had just gone, or if he had just gone for that B site, or A site in that matter. But let us leave ourselves surprised, as it is going to be the 11th round, and once more, a fair investment from Singularity.
Crucially, just being the man to pick up that entry. The AWP, the double AWP, still a feature here. Surreal, oh, fully blind. Doesn't care though, gets away with one. Mighty Max, the trade, the flash is good enough. Crucial, providing the support necessary. And in the blink of an eye, it's the entire execution that's been sold down the river. Jabby, the last man, as all he can do is try and shift his way through around their Xbox, try and find something to add impact to this round. A single kill, and when that double AWP setup can be retrieved yet again, Crucial does miss the first shot. Might lead to a couple of extra. No, it will not. The AWP is picked up and collected like nothing ever happened again. It is the economy now of Singularity that is starting to take that downward spiral once more. 8-3 is a perfect scoreline for Endpoint so far. It's most likely going to force an eco out of SNG. That is exactly the case. Pistols and Kevlar did a bit of utility, but nothing too crazy. Looking like Endpoint should be able to make it up to 9, pushing for double digits, which, with the half that they've had so far, should definitely be on their front cards. If they do not finish this with a minimum of 10 rounds, I'd be disappointed with how pristine they've been so far.
Oh, most certainly. Their performance has been more than just amazing. It's been pretty much on point for the majority of this first half, and Crucial, yeah, the shots confirm what we've been saying. Yeah, I mean, it's no joke. This guy, this guy is definitely worth his salt, definitely worth his weight, and the biggest problem I think that Singularity had done in that case is the fact that they went to drop that up early on and give it to Endpoint. And since then, they haven't really dropped it. They haven't really let go of it. And yeah, I mean, we can see the results of losing an up and not being able to kind of make up for that mistake. Good shot, though. The second round, or the 13th, starts a little bit more wildly as we have a bit of a exchange on towards long. Ooh, Tobis. Yeah. Never mind.
Oh.
How?
Oh. Crucial just drops the smoke to run away like nothing's ever happened. Tobis bamboozled off of the back of this. Finally gets a kill. It's not the man that he was looking for, but he'll take it. Thomas going to be falling this time, unfortunately. They have left the B-bomb site a little bit wide open, though. Mighty Max rotates in defense, but this could actually be a one round for Singularity, providing that they get this right, providing that they enter this bomb site with a nice little flashbang to assist themselves in. Mighty Max, the attention's been drawn this time. Tobis is doing it all himself. That's the B site. Lost Mighty Max. He's got to retreat, get on his toes, put his Nikes on and get running. The spray might just work out, but no, not yet. 50 seconds on the clock, though. But the bomb site has been spawned at a 4-on-3.
The
damage, though, through the door.
This is insane amount of damage being dealt by Endpoint. Unfortunate enough, they don't know about it, and they will go for the save. Of course, the smart call here with one up on Surreal. Chances are they're not even going to get past window and doors to enter to the site. We can see with Singularity's 4th round now being cemented in, they're going to be able to breathe a little bit easier, breathe a little bit deeper, and we should be seeing perhaps a resurgence of their more default side. I dare say that they perhaps were looking a little bit too eagerly for the early fights. They have paid a high price for what was, let's say, 4 or 5 rounds of mistakes being made on some parts. And in the end, this does confirm, sure, you can still rush and win, but you want to be smart about it. You want to be very tactical. Oh my lord, my words are losing me. Or my tongue is losing me. Oh, come on, help me out, Kieran.
Tactful.
Tactful, yes, thank you. Basically, you want to be smart about how you go for the rush, because if you just keep on rushing without any plan in mind, the same will be repeated. The same will happen time and time again, and we can see with the double up back in the hands of Endpoint, they're certainly ready for the challenge up ahead. In Singularity, this gun round is where it's all going to be decided. Can they make this a 9-6 at least?
Yeah, if they can take this one again, they are going to be facing buy rounds, unfortunately, for the last 2 rounds here in this first half. Endpoint stacking enough of a CT economy to be safe enough to rebuy. Liking that from Robin as well, just jumping in that CT spawn, getting himself a nice little angle to play with. Some visionary exploits over the top of that box as they set up the CT smokes, though. He will now reposition, get in front of them, try and play for the defense of this middle position, although it is Singularity that will direct themselves up to short. Bad mistake, though. You're facing the man himself yet again. Crucial, picking up a further entry. Cell rate finally to get the trade. That is what they needed, just to be able to allow some sort of sanity left on this bomb site. The rotate will be called. They still have Thomas inside of pit, and with an AUG, he could be a menace inside of that long pit with a scope like that. Robin gonna shift his way up toward the site as well, something that might not be yet expected by the Singularity boys. No, it will not. Robin only claims the life of one, but it's still damage done. Oh, Max didn't spot the head, but it's still a 3-on-3 here.
Yeah, Robin, he should have stayed alive longer, although it might not even come to care in the end, or matter, as Surreal finds Cell right. It's Queenix through CT, though, but the challenge into Gandalf is being checked, and Yabi through short, a free kill gain, although Surreal, once more, we're back to that close quarter engagement as Yabi saves the day, and I think we can definitely chalk it up to Robin Robin definitely screwed up that element there. Once he gets the kill on Mertz, he decides to wide angle, and that's the problem. I think that's the issue. If he had decided to wait, let's say 2-3 seconds longer, buy a little bit of time for his teammates, buy a little bit of time for the rest of his friends to come along and, you know, be able to actually participate in the retake, I think the result in the end would be very much different. Unfortunate enough, though, you know, Endpoint, they are reliant on numbers, and in this case, they were defeated by numbers. And I'm looking at the minimap, Kieran. Am I seeing this correctly? B is wide open.
Yeah, so is the A long position as well, which is kind of scary right now. One of your two of your two main angles open for business. Ooh, Max only getting one, though. That could maybe have a detrimental effect. Yeah, it's looking likely. Robin on the flank, though. Very quick approach from behind. Still a 3-on-3 and still open for business, at least.
Well, it is open for consideration, but Mertz will be accurate as always, as he shuts down Robin. I'm not sure they're aware of a second player in, of course, tunnels, and, well, in the end, they seem to be well enough acutely aware of it. It is going to be 9-6. Not the best of performance by Singularity, and you called it at the start. 9 to 10 rounds for the CT side is near damn perfect in this case, and you know, for Endpoint to be winning this much, this early on Dust to their own map pick, given with what happened on Vertigo, I think this is, you know, definitely cause for concern. Singularity's CT side will have to be immensely adjusted in order to accommodate the next few moments here.
Yeah, this is where Singularity will have to start popping off. 9 rounds on a CT side is pretty good for a map like Dust 2. They would have been wanting to go through with double digits, of course, but Singularity did at least a decent job of suppressing that scoreline toward the end of things. This time, though, it is going to be a default rush toward the B site for Endpoint, embodying their Russian breadth of a rush B. No, maybe not. Straight into lower. Okay, they're going to slow things down. I'm liking that. No commit out of Endpoint just yet. No reason to be sacrificing any sort of early positions. They'll just play for the slowdown here. But especially in a pistol round, it's pretty much common knowledge now to play 2 on the bomb site rather than that 1 rotating mid for a pistol. That is the job of Tobis now, just to protect the site. Mertz might get caught on the corner. Yes, he will. Surreal.
Too much.
Overextension sees him shut down. It's a nice little kill to open the round with minimal damage traded off as well. But these USPs, that's where they can start to punish from distance. No, it's crucial again that takes him down. Tobis trapped in CT. They'll get a trade, but the smoke's already down. So is the bomb, and Robin, he's already up their backside for a flank. It's Queenix that will not survive, and it's Endpoint that bag a pistol.
Yeah, this is definitely perhaps a little bit of cause for concern. Endpoint with their 10th, with the double digits now being rounded out. They're a very dangerous opponent you don't want to give any advantage to if you can help it, and Singularity, well, unfortunately they helped them immensely already in the first half with this double op setup that they gave them pretty much from the get-go from the first few gun rounds. They haven't really been able to shut down the momentum Endpoint have gathered, and we can see right here, it's a force buy for Singularity, sure, but the timings that they're about to face are a bit of a different problem, and yeah, Surreal, he is Surreal, he will find himself all 3 as he clears out middle and CT. It's Cellrate with another Deagle connection, yet this time it breaks off as it is only a ADSL, and well, Yabi, in a 1-on-4, not really gonna happen. Surreal single-handedly cleaned out this round almost. And we can say that Singularity's time is ticking away. This is the elimination match. Loser goes home. Winner having to face off Ago all over.
Yeah, that's a real task in itself as well, facing the not newly reformed roster, but newly updated roster of Aggo with the additions of Oscarish and Fiku. Interestingly enough as well, that the fact that Oscarish IGL'd in his Illuminar squad, it's actually, I think, Groovy that's picking up that IGL role or continuing to in the Aggo squad. So it seems like Oscarish might be secondary shot caller, which I think actually allows him to focus more back on secondary AWPing rather than having that IGL. But we'll discuss all things Aggo after this one. Robin just absolutely massacring them inside of mid with a Mac 10. An ace to close round number 18, 12 on the board for Endpoint. And unfortunately for Singularity, they lose this gun round and they're starting to really write themselves out of this series. It is important that they start to pick things up right now.
Well, we keep on saying it. Unfortunately, Singularity is seemingly not hearing any of it. And, you know, the gun round is what will give them a chance to fight this round, to fight this losing battle, to perhaps return the favor, to perhaps, maybe, at one point, even win. But they are down halfway. They're not looking too good. They're not looking too sweet. Mertz, again, alone on short. No support close range. This is quite unusual. Usually you would have at least a flash man ready for this. And Mertz, like I said, when you're alone on short, no flash behind you to be thrown when you miss that shot, or if you miss it, you're now isolated. The CT player, Queenix, has no chance. He's trying to get himself onto Ward's ramp, but you are completely isolated. And yeah, what are you really doing in this case, Singularity? They're stretching their defense so far in the end. They aren't able to hold together at all. And just to break it down, if you want to play a defense, you have to make a choice. Is it long or is it short you want to control? You can try for both, but then you better be ready for an immediate rotation and a quick response to any sort of loss you might take.
Ooh, Thomas, yeah, he's seeming wise of that be a safety position. He absolutely is. Tobers will be able to shut him down, but just by getting that one extra kill for Thomas, he minimizes the rifle saves of 3 down to 2. We know that's not enough for a full buy now, even if they wanted to go for it, so Endpoint doing a great little job there of denying everything further. 13 to 6, the economy broken yet again on the side of Singularity. What do they do here? Do they all outballs it for an investment, or do they play for the overtime security, make sure they can deny a 15th round? I think that is the case. No, it's not. Okay. Balls to the wall it is. Full buy for Singularity. Mertz back on that AWP. The rest able to pick up a couple of rifles. At least give themselves some form of firepower to work with. However, when you've got Endpoint, who right now are seemingly on full throttle, this is a very dangerous opponent to come up against. And Singularity, it is essentially this round that saves them from facing series points and unfortunately elimination from this Group B of week number 1, of course. And Endpoint, they're chilling. Going to slow things down. It's going to be a B-bomb site take, most likely, with the way that they're situated already. Every single man grouped up into tunnels. No real outlier, of course, apart from Robin just guarding top mid. This is where the smokes are going to come through. And it's interesting that Endpoint, they're actually picking up the pace with 1 minute and 10 on the clock and still going for the execution. Tobe is caught in the corner. Whilst he does damage, it is not a successful kill. Cellrate will be able to reply with at least 1, make it 2, and a 3rd out of Jabby. Queenix comes in for the job. Mighty Max at least trades 1, but his health limited now. And a 1-on-3, I don't think that's going to be possible. Not if he can isolate these 1v1s, and not the case this time. At least a good response from Singularity.
Yeah, the bigger problem here was that Endpoint, even though they had a clear-cut decision made and obviously failed on achieving at least 1 or 2 vital kills before the rest of the rotations came through, the biggest, I guess you could say the biggest mistake was basically that Robin got caught in the flank. Because if Robin doesn't die, there's a chance the rest of Endpoint that are entering the site or that are on site can buy themselves the next few seconds, and Robin can maybe make his power play through middle or something. But this time, Mertz, short alone again. He will finally succeed with an entry. He will finally grab himself a worthwhile, well, basically beginning, as Singularity desperately need any sort of ping they can get. Mertz the second as well. And this is one way to do it, as the numbers are starting to rise for Singularity. The advantage quite apparent, and Endpoint, I am eager to see what the decision will be here. Do they go for a B split? Because it does feel like it, especially with all 3 gathering towards mid. Usually that's the one thing you can do, because honestly, it's probably one of the easier ways to execute in a 5-on-3. You avoid basically being met with full resistance from one side at least.
Yeah, they do have that smoke on both on Max and Robin as well, so and Thomas as well. So there actually are a couple of smokes that can be exhumed here to just allow that B cross or at least some mid control. But Cellrate already going to rat things out in terms of taking out Robin inside of the B tunnels. That will most likely just force them into either a save or a fast commit. Maybe not even the latter. Yeah, they're going to try and just ride out of this round with the weapons they've got, the AWP to be carried over. They've got the build-up of money as well to be able to drop if necessary. Max keeping 3,600 in the bank. But the rest having cash nevertheless. That AWP will get transferred over to Crucial. But 13-8 and Singularity at least bringing a couple of rounds back. We know that, though, on their Vertigo CT side, they were only able to ascertain 3 rounds playing against Endpoint on that CT side. And, well, now they've come out with just 2 so far. It is Endpoint that will be looking to punish yet again. And I'm actually really impressed with Endpoint's T sides in this series so far. They've come out fighting on not just their CT defense, but have actually been a very competent side. When you think about some of the players that they've got that contribute to this T side, with obviously Thomas most likely doing some of the mid-round calls. I think Surreal and Thomas sort of balancing the IGL ship between them. But with players like Robin and Crucial, who you think can just nut off on a CT side, they've actually come really well for this T performance. And see if they can transfer that. The money is a lot better for Singularity, though. Just by winning 2 rounds, you can see what a turnaround it's made now. They have a fund for a rebuy, just in case things do go a little south, at least.
Yeah, I was just meaning to say that's the one thing that keeps them safe in this case. You know, we could see in Vertigo, there are a few moments where they had the full buy round victory, then obviously losing the next round caused them to be completely bankrupt. And yeah, there's a bit of a fallback that they can keep themselves together. Mertz from Goose, he's going to be holding a pretty classic angle that is usually pre-fired as well. And to add on top of this, usually a Molotov and a flash to support it. Singularity, though, they seem to have a decent read onto what is going on. This short execution is going to be hard to succeed with it. But maybe, just maybe, there is an option and a window Endpoint can hit at the right time. Let's see this. Surreal shuts down Queenix and CT. Mertz from Plateau, from Ramp, he's hitting his shots. Unfortunately, Crucial on the edge of the smoke. Crucial finds the second as he shuts down the attempt of the defense. Singularity in a split moment, even with an entry, they lose 2 players nearly like this. With a snap of the fingers, they're down to 2 left, and that is the 14th to Endpoint.
The fact that Crucial just literally changes the entire outcome of the round there. Giving Endpoint round number 14, closing it out for them, at least for this one. Again, Singularity, whilst they can get a couple of saves in and still have a build-up of money here, it does give them that little bit extra. As they will head into the next round with a bye at least in their hands. Mertz has been having, I was going to say one of the quietest games, but it's Tobes as well that is really on the latter end of those kill spectrums. Just 6 in 22 rounds for him so far, and no one really having a massive game on the side of Singularity either, really. Queenix top of the leaderboard, but again, he's been outclassed by Crucial, Thomas, Robin top of the leaderboard. 21 kills. It's a real game changer here so far for Endpoint. They win this round and most likely they'll be closing out the series in that 2-0 fashion. Surreal. Oh, he could really tempt fate right now. Jabby comes out with a double traded by Surreal, though. Again, it's the profitability from that long push that really makes it risky for Singularity. Now their site take or their site hold is split wide open. And again, Endpoint, they've got the kills. They'll back away. No need to commit. And they can just head into their defaults now with a 3-man CT side. They know at least one of those bomb sites is a lot weaker than it should be.
Even though Surreal has 13 frags only, or now 15, something like that, he is, for me, the man of the hour.
Oh, like, his damage, yeah.
Yeah, like his round impact, I think, has been probably amongst the best within Endpoint's performance. Simply put, every time you see him enter a position, enter a site, he's able to secure a frag or two, and for me, that is what matters the most. And sure enough, of course, there were many failures as well, but point being that, you know, it's Robin and Crucial that are currently on top of the leaderboard, but let's see that Mertz, if he can hold this. Yes, he can! Mertz! Finally, a little bit of life from him. Finally, a little bit of success as Crucial goes for a bit of a Kukli style hit, misses his full spray with the CZ. What is going on? This is a wild horse round. Still going to be a one-on-one though. Crucial now back against Cellrate, and this challenge is where it has to be taken by Cellrate successfully. No jokes to be had, no mess-ups to be had, and Crucial, he seems to be acutely aware. Look at this, a one-on-one. He's ready, misses it though, and Cellrate. That was a vital round, and Singularity pull it back by an inch, by a piece of thread hanging on to this game.
Beautiful little clutch just to round out the 1v1, give them at least some sort of dying embers here. And again, that little two-piece from Crucial. Mertz, good dodge of the flash as well there we saw as he ducked down.
Yeah.
Giving him that full clear vision, hence why Surreal and Robin fell to the grave there. But Endpoint still back onto a rebuy, though. Economy has supported them at least for an extra round. Singularity going to be feeling the effects of their economy loss. Mertz back on the AWP at least. Again, limited utility on some, though, unfortunately, which is something that Endpoint will look to exploit moving into this round. Especially if they can find victory in this one. 15-9 would pretty much roundhouse kick Singularity in the face and put them onto a low buy to try and scramble the series. Queenix, though, look at the way that... Well, not even Queenix, the hood's been frozen, actually. There we go. Crucial, there we go. Down the lower depths of mid, trying to play for the info on Queenix. Oh, he's edging so close. The nade might do it. Yes, it does. Gives him up, exposes him into CT, gives him that early entry. Thankfully, Mertz has a cross, but well, that is no longer. It allows Crucial a little bit more extra wiggle room to play with. Clears out mid-door. Thomas, he can just sit comfortably on the back of this B-tunnel position. 40 seconds. An Endpoint with so much map control right now, they can decide where they want to hit.
The thing is, you can see Singularity trying to play this correctly, trying to a little bit predict what's going to happen. Unfortunately, they still lose those duels. Cellrate, though, holding the line, finding only the one. He is tempting fate in this case, but they successfully divert the attack at least a while longer. Surreal. Good trade. That was vital that Singularity keep in check. And, oh, Crucial. Oh, Crucial. Oh. Come on. This is too much, Crucial. How does he get away with this? He's got an AWP, yet he's the one that enters the B side. It's like he's the lurk with an op. Somehow he's able to succeed, and with, what, 5 seconds remaining? Endpoint plant the bomb. And Yabi, you might as well get some apple juice, because that's what you need, Yabi. Oh. My God. This is... Yeah.
It's just... yeah. Just heartbreaking, unfortunately. Endpoint.
You wanna hear something fun? Yabi, you know, Yabi, his name. I'm not sure if this would also go for the Danish language, but Jabolko is apple, which would Yabi would be Yabi juice, which would be apple juice in our language, in my language. So, you know, there's that fun part. You have, you know, a little bit of information there, and not pertinent to the game, of course, whatsoever. But at this point, you know, it doesn't really matter. Singularity on the verge of losing.
Yeah, unfortunately, with
look, this.
Yeah, this highlight of the game with, like you said, Crucial. The fact that he just no F's given, walks into a bomb site, AWP in hand. It's like, that's how much he's feeling the game right now. 25 frags for him in 24 rounds. So his kill sort of output right now is very, very positive, and you can see the effect that it's had on Singularity. 3 MP9s, an AWP, and a scout. Their buy round is limited. Good couple of kills to start the round off with. Surreal able to bag the trade, but it's Yabi again with a nice little reply. Seems like Singularity might ride out with an extra round here, though. 4 versus 2, Surreal and Robin trying to see if they can pick up the slack, but maybe, just maybe, Singularity are in this for at least a round or a little bit more, perhaps.
Well, let's see for ourselves. Surreal alone on the hunt. The wild gunman of the West. Does he move forward, though? I think that's a very important question, and, well, we're about to be getting the answer soon enough. It's going to be a B hit. That much is confirmed. Now the question is, do they check the second corner? Certainly they do not. There's the molly into window, and I guarantee you nobody looks this way. They do not. Cellrate still only gets the one frag, and ooh, close call. Mertz needs to stay alive. You don't want to risk this to go into a 1-on-2, especially not against Robin. Still. This is 24 seconds on the clock. Time is ticking slowly but surely. And it is going to be Mertz through the smoke. He's already exited doors, and he successfully implements the offense.
Nice little plant, at least, from Endpoint. Gives them a little bit extra build-up of cash as they'll be heading into the next round. Singularity, though, they at least get double digits out of this one. They'll have some sort of pride as they head into the last stretch of this second map here. There is a chance, of course, that if they do win 5 rounds in a row, they'll take us into overtime. It's going to be a half buy for Endpoint, so at least a freebie for Singularity, hopefully, to come, unless something goes dramatically wrong here on the CT side, which hopefully that's not the case. With a couple of Glocks on the field, you never want that to be a way to end the game. So it should be 15-11 as all things go smooth sailing, but it's Endpoint that still have just that single round needed to close this entire series, and having that map already in their back pockets, Singularity are struggling here, and essentially they've got to go through this cleanly. They've got to pull it back to overtime, and then most likely, if they want to suppress the energy of Endpoint, it has to be the clean spree in that OT itself. A tag onto Mighty Max, no real damage finished in terms of getting it closed, but Queenix able to find one. There's the second, so still catching off one, but it's only minimal damage. No bomb plant allowed, of course, and there it is, nice and simple. There's a hit. Are Endpoint even going to take the buy round here? It is going to be a minimalistic one if they do, so would not be surprised if they just half bought another Deagle round, but no, full investment to come. This is where Endpoint are going to look to try and close things out here.
Really are. Match pause. I presume a technical in this case. I see Mighty Max is the only one that hasn't bought anything up. Yeah, it will be technical. Whew. So, if we take a look at this game from a bit of a wider perspective, I love the new cameras. Well, I love the camera angles, by the way. So funky. It actually reminds me of Unreal Tournament and Quake. If anybody, is an old school gamer, that's how that's how the camera would move when you would be in the main menu of Unreal Tournament or Quake, and it's actually quite funky. I love it. Production has been amazing, by the way. Big shout out to the guys at Relog Media, especially Micho and Lima, and everybody else, of course. I know those two personally, so I can I can do the shout out. But this is gonna be like I wanted to say, looking in from the third perspective, this is gonna be still a pretty tough match for Endpoint. Nonetheless, even though they're winning quite heavily, they are starting to show a few cracks in the armor. Singularity, they seem to have at least prepared themselves a bit better. Let's still see this crucial though. Good turnaround, but Queenix, I mean, that's what matters then, right? That he's able to keep that still on the down low. 3v3, as Singularity are able to somehow still have equal numbers.
Spread, Mertz needing a smoke to get out of this alive. Still going to be having a nice little angle to play with, though. Flashbang going to keep him blind, but doesn't matter as he takes the kill anyway. Doesn't catch any more, though. Lineup not going to be possible.
No.
Mighty Max able to open things up, Cellrate down into the 1-on-2. The AUG, yeah, they've got that smoke to block off the angle. They've got 2 of them, actually. Get those thrown down. There is actually a gap in the smoke, despite having 2 of them, so not too sure what happened there, but not that it matters anyway. It's a 1 versus 2. Cellrate is going to need a bit of a miracle to be able to ride out as winners of this round, and it seems like Endpoint might have just locked in that 2-0.
Well, we're about to find out how this goes. Yeah, Cellrate, his name might suggest that he could be ready for this, but let's see He can pull it off. The Molotov default onto Plateau ramp. He can try and snuff out one, but the angle with the op still doesn't work. Robin falls. Cell rate can't do it though. Mighty Max. There's the shutdown. There's the 16-11. And there is the game. It's a 2-0 victory in favor of Endpoint.